song that you heard so many times, and every time you hear it, you're like, I'm not gonna bump to this song, but then you start catching a vibe? I'm sorry, not sorry. Yeah. East Coast with the gang, 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 gang. West Coast with the gang, 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 gang. Lower with the gang, 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 gang. You know we don't play gang, gang, gang. East Coast with the gang, 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 gang. West Coast with the gang, 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 gang. Lower with the gang, 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 gang. You know we don't play gang, gang, gang. East Coast with the gang, 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 gang. West Coast with the gang, 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 gang. Lower with the gang, 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 gang. You know we don't play gang, gang, gang. East Coast with the gang, 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 gang. West Coast with the gang, 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 gang. Lower with the gang, 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 gang. You know. Yeah. Whoa. East Coast with that gang, gang. You know we don't play games. Whoa. Hop up on that wagon. Oh, please just get out the way. You know we stay stuntin'. Right up in your face. We sorry, not sorry. We just stuck up in our ways. West Coast gon' ahead stand up. Put that glass and hands up. Gang, 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 we famed up. Got that change, we bagged up. True love, we stay manned up. Ahem like I'm wheezy, yeah. Rap game just too easy. Drip so sick, I'm queasy. Whoa. East Coast with the gang, 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 gang. West Coast with the gang, 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 gang. Lower with the gang, 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 gang. You know we don't play gang, gang, gang. East Coast with the gang, 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 gang. West Coast with the gang, 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 gang. Lower with the gang, 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 gang. You know we don't play gang, gang, gang. East Coast with the gang, 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 gang. West Coast with the gang, 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 gang. Lower with the gang, 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 gang. You know we don't play gang, gang, gang. East Coast with the gang, 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 gang. West Coast with the gang, 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 gang. Lower with the gang, gang, gang. Yeah. Watch me finesse, walk to the line. Good versus evil, God in his prime. Always in prime, always on time. Our time to shine, wifey is fine. I'm doing fine, glad that you asked. God fill me up, mud in my glass. God clean me up, all that I ask. Wherever you headed there fast. I am ahead, you are in last. Last time I checked, you were all gas. Gas in the whip it up fast. Fast and all furious, I'm starting to spaz. Getting all curious, you put me on blast. Blasting that Darius, kids in the back. Back to the future is black. Black like T'Challa, Wakanda attack. East Coast with the gang, 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 gang. West Coast with the gang, 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 gang. Lower with the gang, 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 gang. You know we don't play gang, gang, gang. East Coast with the gang, 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 gang. West Coast with the gang, 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 gang. Lower with the gang, 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 gang. You know we don't play gang, gang, gang. East Coast with the gang, 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 gang. West Coast with the gang, 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 gang. Lower with the gang, 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 gang. You know we don't play gang, gang, gang. East Coast with the gang, 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 gang. West Coast with the gang, 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 gang. Lower with the gang, 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 gang. You know we don't play gang, gang, gang.
The following program is rated TV MANOC. It contains a big pair of nuts directly on your chin. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Transitioning young people. Come on. Want to become a woman? Daddy.
Let's go.
Cut everything off immediately.
Common sense and logic.
She was 12, I was 30.
Obesity is epidemic in the United States and a major cause of death.
What is fat activism?
I, a fat person, am sharing my own lived experience.
Pizza is a vegetable.
Your fat phobia is your problem.
It is not my place as a smaller-bodied white man to comment on it.
Radical body positivity.
What can men do against such reckless hate?
There's only one man who can help me.
This is for you new people. I only have one rule. Everyone fights, no one quits.
This day we fight!
Swole North.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing. Testing, testicles. Welcome, everyone, to episode 25 Hundo and DAC Ocho of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular Swolecast, Beardcast, Broadcast, Gamecast, Mancast, Pimpcast, Sleazecast, and Slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. What's going on, beaches, booshes, busters, hustlers, and your hoes? It's your boy, Papa Swolio, back with another episode. Today's episode of the Beastcast is brought to you as powered. Is sponsored by Everson KT Flex and all you beaches.
It's the fucking Catalina wine. It's the fucking Catalina wine.
All right, welcome to the show. Come one, come all, hit the like button right now. Especially all of you watching live, hit that like button. And of course, leave us a 5-star review on Spotify or on Apple Podcast, anywhere you bang your ear holes. The Daily Swole is available everywhere. So make sure you leave us a review. And of course, check out swolenormousx.com to join the fam today. We got a lot of links in the show notes below to submit a question and all that good shit. This is a live stream recorded every day. And we got a couple announcements before we get into that tip. Before we get started with all that stuff, tomorrow's episode is private for members only. We got an amazing morning call tomorrow, Rise and Swole, tomorrow the 30th at 9 a.m. Eastern time. So the live stream will be private for members. Yet again, another reason to join the fam. You get 3 live streams, private live streams every single week. Last week we had our roundtable on Thursday. This week we have our Rise and Swole, 9 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow. And when you are a member, you can log into your account and join from the button on your homepage. Of course, you'll get a Swole text. You'll get a reminder, but just set your alarm and you log into your account, hit the button, the app will open, and all that information is there on your homepage in your Get Started series. So we'll see you tomorrow, Rise and Swole, 9 a.m. with the fam. And of course, we'll be back here on Friday for the Theftcast, the Friday stream, and then we have overtime. So we have overtime after the Friday stream, which is awesome. We're going to have some awesome new content that we're going to drop there as well. So we'll see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern time. All right, beaches. Let's fucking get it started. We also, on Monday, we released some new drops. We have a brand new yin class, Express Total Body Yin number 5 with Alex. So if you tried that class already, I hope you did. Make sure you drop in the comments below. It's an awesome class. Don't sleep on yin. You might fall asleep during yin, but don't fall asleep on yin yoga. If you've never tried it, go into the yoga studio and or log into your account, go to updates, the brand new updates, and try that brand new class. But we have a lot of other Express yin classes, and that one's absolutely fire. All right. We're ready. We're ready to get started. Let's get the Swole card out. Let's summon the Falcon and get today's party started. Put some respect on it, beaches. Welcome to the show. What are you smashing today? Drop in the comments down below. All right, yes, sir. Hashtag SFGs for a chance to win today's Swole card. Sick fucking gains. Hashtag sick fucking gains. All right, we got a beautiful, let me see. We got a new beautiful backdrop. Where's that beautiful backdrop? Where is that? Why is that not syncing up? I got a new backdrop for Tessie. Let's see if I can sync those. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, because it's on the cloud? That's interesting. Yeah, it doesn't want to open. All right, cool. Hashtag sick fucking gains. Hashtag SFGs for a chance to win today's Swole card. Now let's get into that tip. Babe, just an
go.
inch, just an inch. It's cold outside.
All right, first post here is from Aaron, and Aaron says, "What's up, fam? Love the approach Papa Swole is working here. I'm starting a new path of life. Long story short, used to be a Tarzan-like farm kid that has never been in a gym. Life took me for a spin, and I ended up homeless and addicted to IV drugs. I've been off the streets and sober for over 2 years now. I was at my lowest 148 pounds. After 15 months in rehab, I am up to 210, but been just sober, and eating anything isn't cutting it. I want more health, fitness, and everything. I'm super excited to start this path." Well, you're turning it around. Good for you. Good for you, Aaron. Welcome to the fam. Super stoked to have you with us. Ashley says, "Has anyone used a hyperbell before? I'm thinking of getting one. I don't have room for a whole gym, and it looks like it could be a good tool, but I don't know if it's really worth it. You can use it to turn dumbbells into a barbell. Looks nifty, but I don't know if it's worth it." So, all right, I didn't expect a question. Usually we haven't had a question in the Swole Fam section for a bit. I think it's all right. If you have a lot of dumbbells, because you can't change the weight unless you have different dumbbells. So, I mean, these are little tools and gimmicks and things that you can use to maximize what you have. So instead of getting plates, I guess you could have a bar and attach some dumbbells. Might be weird for certain movements, but I think it's definitely an option. I mean, how many dumbbells do you have? Because you would need multiple pairs of dumbbells in order to adjust that. They do have one for power block or some of these other adjustable dumbbells where you could adjust the dumbbells and you can hook it up to a bar. I haven't messed with anything like that, but these are all tools. These are all tools that are only useful if you use them. It's just different ways to lift weights and to create overload and resistance. So, really up to you. I've never used one personally, but could be beneficial maybe for certain exercises. All right, let's see. Elizabeth, good morning, fam. About to get after a workout, OB or on my row machine, and that bitch is a workout. And my, God, this is brutal, and my buttmathyroid card to remind me to keep pushing for Lizzo levels of health. Not gonna lie, I like waking up before the sun, but without it being 4 a.m., haha, have a great day, y'all. Swole fan making some gains.
Y'all.
Excellent. We got a post here from John, and John writes, "I just had the most empowering, liberating thought. I'd feel remiss not sharing it with you all. I've had my head down practicing the 7 pillars for so long I didn't realize how untouchable I am. My dopamine fix is the 7 pillars. Every addictive industry out there fails to profit from me, and I'm truly free. A fulfilled life is based on dialing in, practicing on your mental and physical health, and attending to what you can control. It's merely a choice. It's me versus a reactive world of immediate gratification, and I'm winning. Wow. Good for you, bro. Deep shit. Nice. Mika, I wasn't sure if anyone had experience with it, going back to the bar for dumbbells things. I mean, for certain exercises, you might like it. I've never used one, so I don't know. It seems like an interesting idea. Obviously, it's not a round weight, so you wouldn't be able to moving it in different directions, maybe just doing it for curls or pressing, maybe squats, depending on how you can lift it up over your head. You can only go so heavy. I just don't know how functional it is, like how sturdy it is, but I'm sure like it could be cool for certain things. It could be cool for certain things. I don't think it's something that you would use for really, really heavy weights, but I guess it depends. Like I said, there's other adjustable dumbbells that some of these companies make a bar that, so you can adjust the dumbbell. They're adjustable for home, and you have a bar that can attach to them. But like anything else, it's just another device. So it depends on how you use it. You can, I'm sure, get a great workout with it. If it serves your goals, right? Anytime you have a home gym, something that, any way that you can adjust and maximize your space and get the most out of less things. This is why I like kettlebells and stuff for home gyms and adjustable dumbbells, because you can go with a wide range of weights and not take up a lot of space. I did actually buy the adjustable dumbbells. I have power blocks, but over time I started buying a bunch of these other Hex dumbbells because they were less expensive, and certain exercises I like to have dumbbells with it. Hex, they're not the greatest dumbbells, the Hex ones, because the handles are kind of weird and curvy, but I put fat grips on them. So they're all cool. So that's what you can do. If you want to build out a set, but you don't want to buy all the dumbbells at once because it could take up space or be expensive, you can start with adjustables and then get certain individual weights. Because I don't want to use the power blocks for like 10 pounds. So I'll have 10 pound weights and then 15. And then I got 20s and I got 25s. And now I have through what I get through. I got through 50s and then I have like 95s, 100s, 110s, and 120s. And then I have the power blocks. I'll use that for like the middle 60 to 90, but I'll probably fill it out. So you can do different strategies depending on what you're trying to do long term in terms of building out your home gym. Julian says, hey fam, just did the total body awareness training for the first time. That hits like an 18 wheeler, to be honest. Good man.
Yow. Yow.
Good man. And is that it? Is that it for the Swole fan post? Very nice. Everyone fucking crushing it. John crushing it. Julian, Elizabeth getting up early to make some gains. Ashley getting some new fucking equipment. And Aaron changing his life. Excellent, fam. If you're ready to join all these amazing people and myself inside X, join us, swolenormousx.com. And we'll move into some more knowledge cock. So if you want to follow up on any of those stories or ask any other questions, hashtag AskPapaSwolio, and we have a bunch of calls we'll get into, but you can drop that in the comments down below. Navarro Sport says or asks, fat grips. Yeah, fat grips are these little rubber handles that you can slide over a bar or over a dumbbell to increase the diameter. So you can look on Amazon, just type in fat and then grips with a Z at the end. There's a bunch of companies that make them. And they make different sizes. So I have a couple of the black ones, which is the same as the blue. And I also have one of the extreme orange ones. So you can put them around a bar. I actually like them because it's easier on the grip. It's less likely to get things like tendonitis from over gripping and stuff like that. So you have a little bit more range in terms of exercise. For example, on an easy curl bar, it really works great on an easy curl for tricep extensions. It's a lot better on the hands. So it can be really much better on your wrists and your forearms. You should also be strengthening your grip, of course, but it takes a lot of pressure off for certain exercises. Phone calls have been on fire lately. So it was only that one day. On a side note, because Mika's like, oh boy, here come the phone calls. Phone calls are awesome. Phone calls are great. It was just that one day. Jeremy, I am all in on the animal-based diet, eating all the things we were told would give you a heart attack. Do you have to build muscle in order to make animal foods okay, or are they just the best food? Well, using any terms like best really depends on the individual. But do you have to build muscle in order to make? No, food is food. Nutritious and nutrient-dense food is nutrient-dense food. You're going to minimize inflammation. You're going to maximize your recovery. You're going to get all the nutrients that you need. I would recommend that you build muscle for your health, for longevity, and for building bone density and improving your muscle mass, which is going to be essential for all sorts of coordination, balance. Grip strength is so important as you get older. You have to think long term. Train now. You have to think long term when you're training, because this is what you're trying to accomplish. By the time you get to be 50, 60, 70, 80, you're going to regret not starting today. So just start today. You're not going to regret it. Do you have to build muscle to make them food? No, good food is good food, but you're going to do better for yourself if you're exercising regularly. Carson, Papa Swolio, curious if you do anything outside of meditation and reading for brain gains. Do you like any puzzles or research specific things or listen to certain podcasts? I listen to a lot of podcasts, and cold plunging is great. Sauna is great for meditation. Puzzles, no. Like crosswords, stuff like that. Not really interested. Not really interested in stuff like that. I think it's good for the brain, but I just maybe in the future, maybe I'll get into some crossword puzzle action, but my mom likes those. Let's take a phone call. This one's from Emma. Emma Baby? Emma.
Hi, Papa Swolio. So I'm sure we all sort of start off with anxieties when starting a new routine, whether that's, eating better or going to the gym. But how do you handle others picking on you or teasing you when you start the path to fitness?
Ooh. How do you deal with that? People picking on you. Well, you stop spending time with those people. one of the most important things about getting healthier, and following the 7 pillars, that you're doing it for you. You're doing it for the right reasons. Like, so if you're doing it for those reasons, for the right reasons, you're doing it to improve yourself, you're doing it to develop yourself, and you're focusing on filling your own cup, it doesn't matter what other people are thinking. So bottom line, you don't deal with it. You cut them out as much as possible. And just think, your train is full speed ahead. And if they can't keep up, then they don't keep up. These are people that are not valuable in your life, in the sense of, I'm not saying they're not family, but I'm saying these are people that you don't have time. You don't have time for that kind of negativity. And you're going to make much more benefits in your life by cutting out the negativity, rather than looking for positive people that are going to reinforce. I'm looking for more people that like the gym. I'm looking for that. Focus on yourself, cut out the negativity, and that problem will solve itself. So anytime that you step up your game, it's going to reflect like a mirror to other people, that it's going to reflect to them what they're not doing. So you are going to be an example of what they know they should be doing deep down, but that they succumb to. They succumb to the laziness. They succumb to the excuses. But you rise above, and then they resent that. They try to bring you back down in order to feel better about themselves. A great book is The War of Art. Not The Art of War. It's a play on that by Stephen Pressfield. It's a fantastic book. I have it in the Amazon store. I recommend you read it. It's a great book. It's a great book. Fuck them. Focus on yourself. Proud of you. Keep it going. Keep it going. Let's see. Chandler, Marshall, Papa Swole, I'm just getting into the gym. Been consistent for 6 months, but been having trouble gaining weight. Do you have any tips? Eat more food. 6 months is nothing. So good for you. Good for you. I mean, the first time I started training seriously when I went to college, freshman year, I got skinny, ripped, and I didn't bulk, even though I thought I was bulking. I was doing a lot of chicken and salads and doing cardio all the time and doing long workouts and just getting really lean and shredded, but I was like skinny, ripped. So you've been having trouble gaining weight. You're probably not training hard enough. You're not eating enough protein, getting enough sleep, eating enough calories. It's hard. It's hard to gain weight. You have to eat small meals regularly, getting in probably, depending on how big you are, how tall you are, you got to be eating like 3,000 calories a day, day in, day out, plenty of protein. It's hard. That's much harder than the training. So eat more food. You need to eat more food. And I recommend eating quality food, depending on what your situation is or what you have access to. You need plenty of protein and enough calories. So you're just not eating enough food. Lacey, Papa Swolio, suggestion for a modification on the pigeon pose. I can't get into it. I did it with my leg up, similar to a lunge. With my leg up. Just put a pad. Put pads under your hip. We have modifications in the yoga classes. So in the instructionals, in the yoga studio, and in the classes, the instructors will give you adjustments for it. Just put a bolster or a pillow or a pad under that thigh. That way you can keep your spine straight. You don't want your leg flat and your back twisting. You want to just put a pad under that thigh because you have mobility issues. So your thigh isn't able to drop flat. You could also do it up on a incline bench. So your knee is up and your foot is on like the raised seat portion of the bench. And you can stretch your posterior hip flexor as well as getting into the gluteus medius and the piriformis and the glutes on that right side if that right leg is in front. So does that make sense? You're just like how you'd be on a flat surface, how you have a pad under that thigh. You could also do it on an incline bench. And then the higher the incline, the easier it's going to be, the more like a lunge. And then you can drop that bench as you loosen into it and just hold it for longer periods. All right, let's see. Amanda says, people will tear you down no matter what. Sometimes they don't even realize they're doing it. That's how deep-seated their issues are. Indeed. Christopher, Papa Solia, what up, Boosh? What up, Beesh? How we doing?
Yow.
How we doing, KD?
Yow.
Been a while. I got a job where I walk about 5 miles a day. It's helped me lose more fat, but not around my waist. My waist really hasn't budged since starting. Like, what the hell? Why would it? Why would it? Your body adapts to things like that. Walking 5 miles a day, it's cool. It's good movement, but it's not gonna, your body's gonna adapt to that being the standard and plateau super quick, as you've noticed. You're not gonna just lose fat around your waist just because you're walking more. It's gonna come down to your nutrition, your sleep, and all your other habits. What's your nutrition like? What's your training like? Just walking a little bit more isn't gonna just melt fat around your waist. You lifting heavy? Lifting heavy weights. What's your nutrition like? What's your sleep like? All these other things. Your body will adapt to that. You might lose a couple pounds just of water weight or whatever initially. Plus, if you're walking around, are you walking fast? Are you walking at a brisk pace? Or are you just kind of doing security, kind of moseying and meandering? It's better than sitting at a desk, but your body will adapt to that very quickly. Navarro sport, sauna after gym. You can. Sauna after gym is fine, or sauna in the evening. Whatever works for you. And cherry/tart juice for aid to reduce muscle soreness after gym. I'm not too familiar. I've kind of vaguely have heard that in context, but I've never used it. Cherries are good. I like eating cherries. I've never used like the juice to reduce muscle soreness. I mean, you need to be stretching and doing sauna and properly recovering and doing mobility. That will aid more soreness. That will aid reduction rather than just drinking cherry juice or something like that. Soreness is a result of, the byproducts of exercise and the muscle strain. Let's see. It is lonely. It's lonely. We talked about this yesterday. John says any progress in life is lonely and challenging. Yeah. But of course it's lonely in the sense of there's going to be less people around you because most people don't step up to the plate. Most people don't go the extra mile. Most people don't challenge themselves the way you challenge yourself. So it's fulfilling on a personal level, but it might be more alone rather than say lonely, because lonely means, lonely. I'm so lonely. I wish I had a friend. Doing things on your own or alone, just because there aren't a lot of people around you that are pushing themselves hard, is different than being lonely. I know that's what you meant, John, but I'm just trying to, the words matter for people conceptually. Like, I don't want to be lonely. I don't think it's lonely. I think it's fulfilling. I think it's eye-opening. But I think it's also, it creates this, not a bad vicious cycle, but it's a cycle in which, okay, you start fulfilling yourself, you start seeing things more clearly, you start feeling better, and then it's just more of you distance yourself as a product of that because you're taking care of your health, you're eating quality food, you feel great, then you're spending time with people and you're hanging around and they're stuffing their face, they're being negative, they're whining, complaining. You're like, oh, so it's like a voluntary thing. Get the fuck away from me. You just don't want to be around it. All right, let's see. Brenda Papasolio, would using a drag when walking help the person who is walking 5 miles a day? A sled? Well, I'm sure he's at a job, so you can't just like tie a sled. Would it work? You're doing more work. You're pulling something. I call it the morning mule. So I wake up, I jump in the plunge, and then I strap on my belt and I just start walking afterwards. I start pulling the sled. I start pulling a couple 45s on the sled in the backyard. So I wake up, I plunge, and I warm up just by pulling that front. I go backwards walking front. I just walk. I just do a bunch of laps until I start feeling warm, and I do some club or kettlebell to warm back up, and then I'll come back and get some other stuff done in the morning. Guy Mobica. Papa Swolio. Hey, Papa, I read ice baths every couple days are very useful in recovery. Losing fat due to activation of shock proteins in your liver. What's your take? I don't do it for fat loss. I think there's some people that say that it's good for brown fat. It can metabolize fat. I just think it's great psychologically. I don't even do it for muscle recovery. I just do it for the morning dopamine release and just that amazing feeling first thing in the morning. So I don't do it to ice sore muscles. I don't do it for fat loss. That's doing cold. There's so many people that are soggy and fat that do cold. It's not like it's shredding fat off your body. I just don't see it. I'm sure it can help, but if you're eating garbage, cold plunging is not going to negate it, kind of thing. So you're going to lose a lot more fat and be a lot more healthier just by doing the proper things, and cold plunging will be icing on the cake. In other words, in conjunction with everything, sure, like anything else, but you'll metabolize more fat. You'll have less body fat just by eating better and training hard, regardless of the cold plunging. I just like the ice bath in the morning. I just like it first thing in the morning. Like just the feeling from it. You can have a lot of people say, well, the studies show. I don't fucking care about the studies. I'm not trying to micromanage. Well, I'd burn a little bit more fat if I do it this time and this time. It just feels so fucking good. It just feels so fucking good. Heather, Papa Swolio, opinion on drinking ketones when you first start getting into a healthy lifestyle. I don't have a good opinion. I wouldn't say to drink ketones ever. I don't see how that's really beneficial. I've never done it. I've never really looked too much into it. But when you first start getting into a healthy lifestyle, the last thing you want to do is to get into some supplement bullshit. You want to do an elimination diet. And I really do think that people that are serious will do an elimination diet. People that are serious will go to the foundations. If you're just trying to, I'm just getting started, let me do a cleanse, let me do this, they're just getting your money. You're just wasting your time. You're not creating any proper habits. You're not really learning what foods do to your body. You're not doing it for the right reasons. You just want to lose weight, so you're going to jump to. I'm not saying you, but the general, you. Like that's not going to help with your healthy lifestyle. The healthy lifestyle is going to come fundamentally for getting more sunlight, sleep, eating better foods, training, lifting regularly, meditating regularly, all those things. I would never tell anyone, hey, you should add ketones. Wax Element has like 1,000 milligrams of sodium. Is that a lot? I'm not sure about drinking it. Sodium's required. It's necessary for the body. It's also in context of everything else you're doing. So if people are eating tons of fast food and soda and sugar and they're diabetic and you're start sucking down electrolytes, in context of cutting out many carbohydrates and you're eating a much more higher protein and fat diet, you're like animal based, like we talk about, cutting out inflammatory foods, you're getting quality sleep, you're hydrating properly, you're exercising, electrolytes are essential. It's also the ratios of the magnesium and the potassium. With any kind of supplement, start smaller. You can do in context if you have any kind of medical conditions that might preclude certain things, but salt has such a bad rep, just like cholesterol, all this nonsense. It's fantastic. I get plenty of sodium every day. Chris, it's fast-paced walking, going back to the 5 miles, but nutrition and sleep have taken a hit for sure. So what do you expect, bro? You're wondering why you're not losing fat around your midsection and your sleep and your nutrition takes a hit. Think walking 5 miles a day is going to outbalance poor sleep and poor nutrition? Why is the nutrition taking a hit? These are things you can control. So when we talk about the 7 pillars, I'm not singling out Christopher, but in general, like these are the things you can control on the right side of your screen. And if you're not controlling what you can control, you're really setting yourself back behind the starting line. There's enough in your life that you can't control. Why are you adding to that list? Of the few things that you're able to control them. Guy, if I hit the gym at 6 a.m., good questions, by the way. Keep it going. If I hit the gym at 6 a.m. every morning, would you say it's better to hit the ice bath before, at night, or it doesn't really matter when? I would do it either first thing before you go or maybe later on in the afternoon. You definitely don't want to do it right after a workout. To say it doesn't really matter when, I don't think that's true. I think it does matter when, but I think it also matters how you feel about it, because cold plunging, let's say at night before you go to sleep, it's very invigorating because your body brings heat towards, it actually raises your core temperature because your body brings in all the other heat to keep your core temperature warmer when you're in the cold plunge. I personally like sauna at night. So I do cold plunge first thing and then sauna at night. That's how I do it. But I've heard that if you do cold plunge after training, lifting, you don't want to do it for at least 5 or 6 hours after you lift. But, I would play around and see what you like best, but I prefer doing it first thing in the morning. All right, let's get a call. This one's from Roger. Let's hope we keep the good flow of the questions. Come on, Roger. Big money.
Hey, Papa Swolio, thank you so much for providing the motivation to help continue with the gains. My one question is, where you get those shorts that you have on your Instagram videos? Because I need some new workout shorts, and those look pretty comfortable and show the gains. Thanks.
The shorts. I'm not sure which video you're referring to. I had some ones back in the day. I had some like Ranger panties, they were called, but I didn't like the fact that they were made out of nylon, but I liked them. They were comfortable. The ones that I'm wearing, I don't have a brand. They're 100% cotton though. They don't even have a brand. It's like, they don't even have a brand. It just says medium. God, mediums are so much. The sizes are so fucking ridiculous now. We talk about that all the time. I used to wear, just a large, like a normal. It's like a large. But then I start wearing smalls and mediums because the sizes are just so much fucking bigger. So these are just 100% cotton ones. I think I just got them on Amazon. So I don't know if I had these in the Amazon store, but just 100% cotton because a lot of times I free ball. So, I don't want my dick being exposed to synthetic plastics and polyester and shit.
Because Dickens?
Wax, come on, we know that you're naked. God damn it. You caught me.
Emotional damage.
Now I am. I'm saying in the videos I'm not naked. But now, absolutely. I got a fan right there just keeping the boys cool. Barrett, I had a big cheat meal on my birthday and my gut got messed up since I had been eating clean for months at that point. See, that's what I don't get, right? It's like, why do you celebrate your birthday by eating shit and fucking yourself up? Regrets. Regrets. I am naked as fuck. If Papa Swolio is 207 pounds, I wonder what I am today. I am about like 205 to 210. Last time I weighed, I think the last time I weighed, I was like 212 or 211. But that wasn't first thing in the morning. That was just, so I'm probably like high. I think a good weight for me is 205-ish, something like that. If Papa Swolio is 207 pounds and wears a medium, yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Okay, Guy, Papa Swolio, why the fuck is Tren and all these anabolic steroids running my timeline? Is there some rise going on of roids? How do you feel about it? I mean, it's always been like that. It's very popular to take stuff now more than ever. I think it's seriously because of the Instagram, TikTok culture. You have all these younger kids. It's hitting kids younger. And they're seeing all these teenagers, 18, 19, 20, that have been lifting since they were 13 because of Instagram and stuff. And they're taking stuff way too young. Way too young. You shouldn't be taking any of that shit until like your 30s. You really should build a strong foundation naturally because you're going to fuck your hormones up. And when you start taking that stuff young, you're going to be on that stuff the rest of your life. You can really damage your body's natural production if you don't do it properly. And I'm certainly no expert. But if you're not doing it professionally, which why would you? Your testosterone is not going to have any problems if you're eating well and X, Y, and Z. But that being said, people want results and they want it now. They want their gains Amazon Prime, but they may very much pay the price as they get older. You have a lot of young people that are taking tons of shit. Now, if you're doing TRT or like I'm probably going to be on something like that in the next 10 years at some point. If I get tested and like, hey, I'm a little on the low end. I want to maintain my muscle mass. I want to maintain the effort that I put in and maintain my vitality as I get older. Science just keeps on getting better. I'm not against TRT or anything like that. But doing it young is nonsense. Silly. All right. We got another call here. I think we take this one from Roger.
Papa Swolio, thank you so much for...
Yeah, we did the Roger one. This one's from Violetta. Wrong call. Here we
go. Hi, my name is Violet. I'm from Argentina, and I have, like, huge arms. But when I said huge arms, I mean muscular ones. And I want slimmer ones. Not that muscular. What should I do?
You have... Okay, so I don't really know what you're looking like. A lot of people think they have muscular arms, or they might, but you have a lot of fat on top of them, so it's pushing the fat outwards. So I don't know if you're like shredded to the bone with muscular arms. Don't train your arms. Don't train your arms. Do higher repetitions, but don't do a lot of arm training. Maybe do some more, I don't know, kettlebell work or rope stuff, whipping ropes. Like, don't do a lot of heavy resistance training for your upper body. Bring up other body parts. So aesthetically, you have a little bit more balance, but a lot of people think they have big body parts or a lot of muscle, and they just have a lot of fat on top of them. So they seem bigger than they really are. You just need to lose some body fat. I'm not saying that's the case, Violet, but shrinking muscles, you need to stop providing the overload. And some people genetically have more muscle in certain areas of the body. You can't just like shrink, go away. don't train those muscles as much. There's no magic. Your body's going to adapt to overload. So if you're stimulating them, they're going to adapt with muscle growth. But if you have imbalances like that, if you have imbalances or upper body, then train your legs more. Because if your legs are more muscular, then you're more proportionate. So maybe it's just proportions and it's bothering you in that sense. Okay, Avriel, the Daily Swole. Avriel, go ahead.
Hey, Papa Swolio, this is Avriel from northern Minnesota. And my why to this question I'm going to ask is just that I don't want to plateau in any of my workouts, and I want to work with my body and not against it, obviously. So my question is, I've been seeing posts recently where women are saying, oh, the week before my cycle, and that they're lifting heavy shit, right? And then week of their cycle, they're calling themselves like yoga princesses. So my question is, I haven't done that before. I've always just gone and lifted at the gym. So if I'm at a certain point in my cycle, is it really going to cancel out what I'm doing if I'm having to go lighter? Or like, is there more benefit to doing yoga or lighter work when you are at a certain point in your cycle as opposed to lifting heavy shit?
I think this is one of those things that people are always looking for an excuse to not train hard. Honestly, I know some women lift heavy and they love training on their periods. I think everyone's going to be different, but oh, I'm a yoga princess, I'm on my period. Look, people use, I'm not saying women, well, women only get pregnant, but women use pregnancy as an excuse to have cravings and eat dog shit. I'm eating for 2. No, you're just getting fat. You don't need to gain 50 pounds when you're pregnant. Or I'm on my period, so let me eat garbage. That's an excuse to eat garbage. So like a lot of people are looking for an excuse to not train hard. I'm going to do yoga because I'm on my period. It's easier. It's easier. I mean, I'm not saying yoga is easy, but than pushing yourself. Some people love to lift heavy. I think you're overthinking it. I just think you're overthinking it. A lot of people are overanalyzing stuff like, oh, it's this time my cycle, so I'm going to do this. Just fucking lift heavy. Lift heavy. Lift heavy. If you feel like lifting heavy, lift heavy. If you're drained and you're really fatigued, then okay, then maybe you pivot and you do some yoga. There's nothing wrong with recovering. It's important. But I would pay less attention. I would pay less attention to what other people are doing. Again, this is what the problem is when you're talking about steroids and people on social media and looking online. Yoga princess. Stop fucking looking at what other people are doing. A lot of people are just saying weird shit to get engagement too. I mean, if you're on your period, what you should be doing if you know your period's coming up, eat more liver, eat more red meat, and like get your nutrition in. Focus on your nutrition, get better sleep. Some people just, more often than that, I actually haven't heard that. I haven't heard the yoga princess thing. Most of the time, women are like, when I'm on my period, I train like a fucking beast. They're super strong. And so I've heard the opposite, actually. I mean, it's one thing to know your cycle. I think you should know your cycle and understand what's going on, what's coming up. But I don't think you should use it to dictate how you're training unless you have a pattern and you have a routine that you really like and it's working for you. So if you like training really hard in your period, then fucking train really hard in your period. If you feel really drained, you're wiped out, focus more on the nutrition, maybe do some more yoga. And then if you feel better, you can train a little bit harder. But I would just, really? Is that haven't heard that one yet. It's a trend that's starting, the yoga princess. I mean, that's always been a thing. Women that just do yoga and don't lift weights. So I'm big on yoga, but people that only do yoga have, I'm telling you, not Daisy, but I'm telling everyone, you do not want to be a woman that only does yoga. They are flabby and they're soft. They are flabby and soft. You do not want to only do yoga. If you lift and do yoga, you'll be a fucking beast. But if you're only doing yoga, it's like being a runner. You're just going to be skinny fat. You can definitely, if you do certain types of yoga, you can build some muscle and have some tone, but you should be lifting weights too. You do not want to be a soft yogi. You don't. All right. Thanks for the question. If I answer a question and you want to follow up with a phone call, feel free to call back in. Don't be like, oh, he answered me, but I don't want to call back in. It wasn't really what I was asking for. Just call back in. All right, David, last call. Here we go.
over the last year, I've been working out very consistently. I've lost around 70 pounds. However, in the last 2 to 3 weeks, I've had some physical health complications come up, and I'm waiting on tests to come back, and it's been preventing me from working out, and I'm worried about any muscle loss that might come with that. I'm sticking to my diet, getting around 200 grams of protein in a controlled caloric deficit. It's just got me anxious about losing any gains I've made in the last year. Again, I've lost a lot of weight and I'm still keeping up with those goals. However, I'm just worried about the muscle loss because that's been the hardest thing to build up.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't use it, you lose it. So over time, I mean, in a week or two, you're not going to lose all your gains. You might just be sore coming back. It depends on what's going on. If you're keeping your nutrition up and you're getting your sleep, you'll come back to it pretty quickly. You might feel a little bit weak at first if you haven't lifted in a while. You'll be really sore just because your body hasn't gotten stimulus in a week or two. But you're not going to lose all your muscle in just like a week or two. So over time, then yeah, you will, just because your body, if you don't use it, you lose it. If your body isn't being challenged with progressive overload, it's not going to maintain that adaptation. It's going to well, we're not lifting. So it's going to adapt to the lack of stress. But once you have built muscle, if it's, a little bit of a time period where you're not lifting super heavy, you'll come back to it pretty quickly. Just take care of yourself. That way you can get back to it more effectively. So being anxious and worrying about it isn't doing anything. If you could do yoga, do whatever exercise you're medically cleared to do or you're able to do depending on your situation. And worrying about it, meditate more. Worrying about it's not helping. But the last thing you want to do is start feeling sorry for yourself and then eating shit, because then a lot of other things are going to go sideways. So just stay focused, get healthy so you can get back to training. But I mean, it's just the laws of the land. If you don't stress your body with this type of training protocols, even like stretching or cardio, you're going to lose it over time. So, but being anxious about it is just going to elevate stress hormones. And it's going to negatively affect you more than just being logical about it and getting done what needs to get done right now and then dealing with that later. All right. Let's see. Any other questions in closing? Let's just move on. That was great. Good stuff. Let's move on to some balls deep. Good shit. That's deep. Good questions. If you have any follow-ups, if you have any more questions, you can call in and we'll get to more on Friday, because tomorrow we have Rise and Swole. Tomorrow, March 30th at 9 a.m. Eastern time for members. You could join over at swolenormousx.com. We have a live call in the morning. We'll take private member questions and get the day started. Very chill, and it's going to be fun. Maybe some people will be working out. I might be doing some sled work at that time. We'll see what happens. But morning, a little morning Swole call, and yeah, it's going to be fucking legit. Julian, have I seen the New York Post about working out having little benefits? No, what, the newspaper, New York Post? Anyone that says working out has little benefits is probably fat and they don't want to work out. So they sound stupid. All right, let's see what we got here. 1, 2. Yeah. Oh, that's not a way to start the day. All right, pick a number, 1, 2, 3, or 4. What we got? 1, 2, 3, or 4. Let's see what's in the box. Let's go. Let's go deep. All right, let's clean up the internet a little bit. We did some good questions. We got some good knowledge cock. Good questions, good calls. But let's do some spring cleaning. We gotta mop the floor. We gotta sweep. We gotta vacuum. We gotta clean up the internet a little bit. Let's help people out. Hashtag SFG. Sick fucking gains for a chance to win today's Swole card. Let's see. Let's go with Guy today. Number 3. Guy number 3.
Dodson.
All right.
Dodson. We've got Dodson here.
I just shrank that. Why is that? Oh my goodness. Shrank it. There we go. It's about right. Okay. Number 3. This is titled She's Happy. Well, now I'm sad. All right. There's a response to a comment. It says, get a calorie counter and dedicate yourself to a program. Let's see what's going on.
I'm under the belief that people have told me to lose weight and to count my calories and start eating healthier, as if they even know what I eat. But in protest to that, I got some whipped cream from Aldi. And I'm happy. Say what you want about fat bodies and how we need to justify what we eat to you. Say what you want about my body and how this is so disgusting to you. Say what you want about it. I'm still happy. I am still happy in the body I am in. I have fought so hard to get here, and I'm not gonna let a faceless commenter take that away from me. I have healed from eating disorders. I have healed from diet culture. I have healed from systemic fat phobia.
What about diabetes?
You have nothing on me. You have nothing over my view of my body. You have nothing over how I treat food in my life. You have nothing over my empathy, over my kindness, over my humanity. You have nothing over me. You are merely a person so insecure in your own body and your own life that you have to take that out on others. And I invite you to learn empathy, because when we learn empathy, we learn kindness. And when we learn kindness, we learn how to live a fulfilling and happy life. I laugh because I'm happy now.
You keep saying that word, happy.
You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Okay.
The eyes, Chico. They never lie.
Guy, what the... I'm starting to try not to. I'm trying not to stop. I'm trying to not stop the videos. I'm trying to not stop the videos. That way we can get through them quicker. So if you're just listening, anyone that just does whipped cream to the face, half naked with their gunch out, don't tell me that you're happy. You didn't. All right. That's nothing needs to be said about that. All right, number 1, number 2, or number 3. Let's go.
What's in the box?
Guy, I regret my decision. My friend, we all regret your decision. You know what it might start doing? It might start banning people, like doing one of those like YouTube, like moderator, like just a timeout, like a 5-minute timeout. Like you can't comment for 5 minutes. Go sit in the corner. All right? Go sit in the corner. Grizzly, that'd be a solid drinking game. Take a shot every time Papa stops a video. You'd be wasted in the first video. You'd be wasted after 10 seconds. Because then I go back and I replay it. All right, someone make a better choice. But like I said, this is like trying to... You have a huge pile of shit. You're trying to find the least stinky piece of shit. It's not... You're not going to win. You're not winning. Even when you win, you lose. But that's the theme of Balls Deep. Even when you win, you lose. Let's get a little bit of a Tainty Man in here. We haven't seen a Tainty Man really today. Oh, Tainty Man. Oh, Rufus, Tainty Man. Rufus, save me. I'm being attacked. Rufus, help. Worthless. All right. Yeah, penalty box. 5 minutes for roughing my eye holes. Let's go with John, number 2. John, come on, man. Let's go. Let's go, Big J. Let's go, Big J. Come on, Big J. This is called Fat People Are Prescribed Eating Disorders. It says on the screen, an eating disorder is in either direction is a trauma response, but thin people are praised and overweight people are demonized. But my lived experience.
Hey, so this is your regularly scheduled reminder that one of the really messed up things in the world is that we prescribe to fat people what we diagnose as eating disorders in thin people.
We prescribe eating disorders to fat people. You mean not eating garbage? So if you're fat and you're told to get healthier, it's considered you're prescribing an eating disorder. Like telling someone to stop eating cake is not an eating disorder. Eating real food is not an eating disorder. You're just perceiving it as like starving yourself, but that's not how you get healthier. So we know this is just a whole, you have people arguing past each other. When a doctor says you need to lose weight, abso-fucking-lutely you need to lose weight. You need to lose fat specifically by proxy of changing your lifestyle habits. You make better life choices, you'll lose extra body fat. But we don't want to hear that. Everyone just covers their ears. La 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 la, fat phobia, la 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 la, prescribing me an eating disorder. You know, eating Dunkin' Donuts is an eating disorder. So, we all have our different opinions on that.
Fat people are routinely prescribed and encouraged to engage in eating disorder behaviors.
No. By who? By who? Your poor choices doesn't mean that if a doctor's saying you need to change your lifestyle habits and lose some extra body fat, and then you go on some stupid diet, that's not the doctor's fault. Okay.
Because restriction, especially, is not seen as a problem unless you're in a smaller body.
That's what, also fasting. There are people that complain about fasting. Anytime you see posts about fasting, there are many of these videos that call fasting, whether it's intermittent fasting or just fasting in general, which we know is exceptionally healthy for longevity and overall wellness and insulin sensitivity. That's an eating disorder. You're causing people eating disorders, or what's it called? Orthorexia. If you're fasting, what if you're not eating constantly? It's a disease now.
If you look at a lot of the prominent current obesity intervention research, it employs full-on eating disorder behaviors. And everybody thinks this is fine.
This is you're just saying words, using no examples, just saying things. It's like, all right, that doesn't mean anything.
Severely restricted caloric intake in children or time restricted intake in children. Yeah, let's go. They're fat.
Time restricted eating is totally fine. Calorically restricting children. Again, the idea is right. Kids should not be obese. We should be feeding kids better food. But when you have these paradigms saying that Fruit Loops is fucking healthier than red meat, you have all these bullshit things like cornflakes is a good idea and all these grains and vegetable oils. People are not given the right tools. They know they should be not fat. They know they should be not obese, but then they're told to restrict garbage foods because everywhere in the mainstream, cholesterol is demonized, red meat's demonized, eggs are bad, right? Eggs are the devil. Eggs are the devil. So how much progress do you think you're actually going to make feeding kids grains and oils and all this shit, right?
But the same behaviors in thin children or thin people in general, that's an eating disorder. If you can't see how hypocritical that is, I don't know what to tell you. But what I will say is that it harms everybody with eating disorders, not only fat people. Because how confusing is that for everybody?
I'm confused as to what... I'm confused as to why you made a video that said those things. Mental gymnastics. Mental gymnastics. Let's see, Wax. Really, our ancestors were not shoveling in food all day. So here's the thing, because these types of videos do have a glimmer, right? They do have like a shimmer they take one little sliver of wording that can make actionable sense. Okay. We should not prescribe restrictive eating and starve people. I know calories matter, but you're silly if you think that the quality of the calories don't matter. It's just calorie intake. You can eat McDonald's and lose weight. Yet you can put someone in a concentration camp circa World War II and they'll get shredded to the bone, literally. That's not healthy. You're killing people. So you can starve to death, but what you should be doing is eating better foods that you're not having the cascade of side effects of inflammation, fucking up your thyroid, jacking up your blood sugar and damaging your kidneys and all these other issues from consuming foods that are high in phytic acid, oxalates, vegetable oils, processed sugars, all these different combinations, combined with all the other lifestyle habits, lack of exercise, lack of sunlight, constant stress and fear-mongering and social media and no community and toxic air. You're living you're stacked in apartment buildings in a fucking concrete jungle. It's not good. So anyway, they'll take one little thing and then extrapolate into everyone's out to hunt fat people like it's the Hunger Games out there. It's the full games, not even the Hunger Games. Elizabeth, how about prescribing hunting and gathering? Right. You just have a lot of people dying. Go out and hunt these foods. I can't. My feet hurt. I can't walk. Okay. Now we have some more. We got a couple of videos. These are all. We got some Libza TikTok. Are these both? Ooh, these are both. We're getting a little. These last two are a little bit political. And one has to do with the Nashville shoot. Ooh, these are going to be juicy. All right, fam, what are we starting with? Number one or number two? These are going to get deep. We're going deep. We're going deeper. then no man has gone before. We're going in.
What's in the box?
We got 2 more videos. Pick a number, number 1 or number 2.
I got hairy legs.
Let's see what we got here. I mean, bottom line, we know what we're trying to accomplish here. We're trying to give the power back to the individual and let people know that you can eat to satisfaction if you're eating better quality foods. Just got to combine it with other things. It's not just the food. It's not just the training. It's all of those things. That's why we have the 7 pillars, not the 1 pillar. Diet and exercise. But what about community? What about recovery? What about mobility? What about mindfulness? If you train your body physically, a lot of you know this before you joined the Swole fam. How many of you didn't meditate, didn't practice brain gains until you joined the Swole fam? You've been lifting, you've been trying to eat properly. And I know you're learning more and you're constantly ameliorating and you're learning and you're tweaking. But once you add that kind of mental approach, game changer. Even after all these years of lifting heavy, it just gives you different perspective, because if you move to a different location, you could try a bunch of different diets. You can try a bunch of different diets. You can try a bunch of different training plans. You can move to all these different states or different countries, but you're still bringing the same shitty person along with you. So you can move across the country, but you're still bringing the same person that doesn't handle issues properly, that doesn't have peace of mind. Like, you have to change yourself. You're the common denominator with all these different things you try. So it's getting down to the basics and getting down to the fundamentals and attacking the root cause. You have to get to the root cause, and that takes more work. It's simple. The 7 pillars are not complicated. Nothing I say here is complicated, is it? I'm telling you not to eat cake. Put down the fucking Twinkies. Make simpler food choices. Eat some fucking beef. But that's it? But that's like the beef? But what am I going to put all over it? What am I... Jesus Christ. Eat some eggs. But eggs are a little bit more expensive than they used to be. It's like, okay, nothing's perfect. Then go eat some Tostitos and pizza and keep complaining. Like, what else do you want? It's actually simpler. It's so fucking simple. All right. Wax says, I ate seagull eggs. I take my eye off the chat for 2 seconds and she's eating seagull eggs. What? Bruh. Mika says, but my thyroid. Yeah, Wax was talking about how she lived in the bush, lived and survived in the bush for 22 months. So that's why you're eating seagull eggs. All right, I said number 1, number 2. Let's go with Matthew Riley. Matthew to the main stage. Number 2. Thank you, Matthew.
We choose truth over facts.
Matthew's going to hit a home run. We had it rough for the last couple of days, but I think Matthew's going to crush it. I think Matthew's got a good choice. This one's called The Right is Destroying Public Education. Matt, I think you picked a stinky one. Ironically, the last one we're going to do is probably the worst one of the day, but we'll see. The Right is Destroying Public Education. Really?
If you've been living under a bubble, then let me tell you, the right is trying to...
Did you just say, okay. Wait, hold on a second. I had to pause it. The Right is Destroying Public Education. As she goes, if you've been living under a bubble. Okay.
Matt Damon.
Living in a bubble. Living under a rock. Okay? That's not the word.
So why don't you make like a tree and get out of here?
You keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means. If you've been living under a bubble, how many of you are living under a bubble? All right. We're not off to a good start. When you say the right is destroying public education, when you're living under a bubble, might want to double check that edumacation. I know I have to hit the sound.
You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
All right, let's play it again because it was that funny.
If you've been living under a bubble, then let me tell you, the right is trying to destroy public education.
False.
You might watch a video like this and you're like, this person's not smart at all. Wow. No, they know what...
This person's not smart. Nailed it. You're very based video. You're just taking the words right out of my throat hole. Nice.
They're doing. I'm not bashing all charter schools, but charter schools are a place where problematic things can happen. Let me share an experience from a charter school I interviewed at in Texas where, no, I did not take the job.
Oh my God, you're right. Who said she's a teacher? Jesus Christ. Who said she was a teacher? Someone said she's a teacher. Bet. There you go, Elizabeth. You said that earlier before we even started. She's a I did not take the job. Fuck. I'm excited. I'm excited. Okay, what led to you not taking the job? Talk about a win for that school. Everyone, I wish maybe we could find out what school that was and you can send your kids there. Okay. It's safe. It's safe from her at least. All right, let's see.
I interviewed for a school librarian position. I was really excited because I was like, okay, I think I'm going to go back to teaching this year after having my daughter.
Is that considered teaching, being a librarian at a school? Was there a teach? Did she just say librarian? I'm going back to teaching. Are librarians doing other things now? Like, it's been a while since I've been in school. No? Like, do they teach? Is that considered being a teacher? You're a librarian. You're the one that, like, catches kids when they walk through and they didn't check out their book. Boom, 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 boom. Beep, 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 beep. When you walk through the uprights. Excuse me. Librarians all have teaching certificates, do they? That's what I'm asking. I don't know. I don't know what it takes to be a librarian. I do think it'd be a cool job to be one of those like librarians in one of those epic cathedral in Europe, those old school church-like buildings. Those are cool. Those libraries are awesome. But the ones that look nice, not the random just box ones like that look like government buildings. But the beautiful library. You ever see those videos on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube? Google that shit. You see the book. Oh, they're fucking beautiful. Okay, let's go back to this gunch.
I'm going to go back to teaching this year after having my daughter. I was told that the board hand selects every single book that goes into the library and
You don't say. People agree on what their children can read at a school? Ay, Dios mío. Ay.
hand selects every single book that goes into the library, and you cannot put a single book into the library without the board's approval.
Oh. Ay, ay, ay. Sounds about right to me. Sounds about right to me. You need agreement. Why wouldn't that be the case? I'm sorry. Why wouldn't that be the case? Oh, you can't slip in your trans baby book? Like what's the problem with that? You mean they're paying attention to the books that the kids are learning from? Oh. You mean there's a group of people that are elected to the school board from the local community that are deciding what as a collective when they have meetings and yeah. You mean that you can't just do whatever you want to other people's kids? Oh. I couldn't manipulate kids at this school, so I didn't get the job. All right, here we go.
A single book into the library without the board's approval. So I straight up asked, can I teach a book with a gay couple in it? And
Yo, I'm surprised I haven't put a fucking hole in my computer screen yet. Okay. I can't take a...
So I straight up asked, can I teach a book with a gay couple in it? And they were like, oh, if it's not explicit, that means no. That is an example of what people like this and what people on the right want to do with public education.
You mean teach kids? There's nothing about a gay relationship that's required for education in a school. They're going to learn about that as they get older and from their parents, which is appropriate. And your parents can raise them and educate them and tell them, yes, sweetheart, some men like other men. And it's not illegal to be gay. It just doesn't have to be in a school. There's no application for this to be in a school.
And remember, charter schools like that one that I just described are all government funded. We are paying for that school to exist.
Yeah, goddamn right. You're paying for... There's no place for that in a school. Creepy shit. Why are you trying to teach kids sexual stuff in school? Okay? teach them math? Can we like teach them taxes? Teach them what assets and liabilities are? Teach them how to start a fire? Teach them how to camp? Like you should be, there should be like, outside where you have, learn how to, I don't know, make a tent or a shelter from like trees and wood and start a fire. Teach them functional stuff. Might not seem like it, but it teaches them to be resourceful and to be proud of themselves. There's something elemental about, a kid starting fire. I had to do that. You do that in Boy Scouts, or you do that like in these wilderness camps and stuff like that. Teach them taxes, teach them geography and where things are and history, like actual history. Make a bow and arrow. I don't know. Like just, Jesus Christ. Brenda says, a lot of you are parents out there, so let's get some comments. What we got here? How about we stay with reading, writing, and arithmetic, and we allow high schools to address social conventions and variations? I mean, I really don't think it should be in high schools either, but at least in high school, it's slightly more age appropriate. Let's see here. Lester says, books being banned include, quote, genderqueer and not all boys are blue. What does blue have to do with it? It's like a little tiny book and like, oh, blue, some kids are red, or blue balls. Elizabeth, we have to pay for public schools with books that teach kids how to masturbate or have oral sex, but that's okay. And if you think that's extreme, it's not. It's not. If you're paying attention, there are a lot of these things are coming out online. You're seeing it. It gets swept under the rug if you're not paying attention to, I don't want to say alternative media, but like independent journalists. Like there are a lot of books that literally show oral sex. Like they depict these sexual acts and they're acceptable in middle school libraries. And it's gross. It's gross. It's grotesque. Yeah, there you go. Please teach how to do taxes, basic vehicle maintenance, budgeting, bring back shop and economics. You know what's crazy about all this stuff is materials, especially cars and new cars, they're built and they're designed to break and to need to be replaced. There are some cars out there now, correct me if I'm wrong, I forget which one, but I'm watching videos and they're starting to make transmissions that aren't able to be fixed. So you can't actually fix the engine or the transmission. You just have to like junk it and put a new one in. So it costs a ton of money. You have to bring it to the dealership. A lot of places have that, but they don't even repair these things anymore. They just throw it out and put a new one in. So it's really fucked up. It's really fucked up. But yeah, it'd be great. Teach them how to change a tire, how to do taxes, or understand what the taxes are. Teach kids how the government is robbing them. Teach how they're stealing from your hard work and your labor while they're also passing bills and sending your money overseas to other countries and devaluing your purchasing power. So they're robbing you left and right. Every time they sign a fucking bill and send billions of dollars to Ukraine or to the Middle East or anywhere, that's literally a tax. They're robbing, they're stealing from you because they're passing these things without your consent. They're just printing money and making it harder for you to buy eggs and steak and beef and care for your family and buy a house, buy a car. They're fucking you. They're just robbing you blind. But we don't want to teach kids that. That's the problem. Why would you teach people that? Why would you want the people that you're stealing from to know that you're stealing from them? Why would you want to let people know that you're like, you don't tell people, hey, I'm robbing you. Hi, I'm going to take I'm going to take your money. Okay. I'm going to send $80 billion to Ukraine, and it's going to be a little bit more expensive for you to buy eggs. We're going to facilitate this proxy war. So fertilizer costs are going through the roof. So it's going to, jack up the prices. You're good with that? No, doesn't matter. Suck this dick. Okay. Natty Knight, think about the batteries on electric cars. Replacing that will be like having an engine swap or worse. Well, that's the problem with this electric car thing. That there isn't enough cobalt. There isn't enough of these materials in the world to facilitate this changeover. We just need to stick with fossil fuels and go nuclear. But oh my God, nuclear is so dangerous. Like our technology is so much more superior than it ever has been before. It's so much more efficient. It's mind-numbing how stupid people are and ignorant the left is. I'm not saying the right is better. I like to think for myself. I like to think independently. But this green narrative is nonsense. You can make efficient energy with nuclear that's much cleaner than what it takes to mine these rare earth minerals for wind farms and for solar. Like, that is not zero cost to the environment and to slave labor. It's brutal. Good rant, but I'm telling you, this system's fucked. It's so fucked. There's so much cognitive dissonance. Yeah, every time you use a cell phone, every time you promote solar and all these different, you can't make all these materials without using cheap labor and shipping them thousands of fucking miles. It's carbon neutral, though. Yeah, okay. Sure. Stonefit, California has rolling blackouts already. Imagine when everything in there is electric and plugged into the grid. Dude, it's insane. And they're like, we're going to be all electric by 2030. Bye, California. Bye-bye. It's going to be Mad Max by 2030 is what they're saying. It already is Mad Max. It's completely fucking down the shitter. A lot of you live out there. And you can collaborate that. It's bad. It's not going to get better. It's ridiculous, Jeff. Jeff says, I just listened to a podcast, how ridiculous the nuclear power fear is. It's absurd. I've listened to so many energy podcasts. I'm a huge proponent of Bitcoin, and on Bitcoin podcasts, there's a lot of people that talk about energy all the time. So if you want to learn more about Bitcoin, you want to learn more about, renewable energy and stuff like that, like check out a lot of those podcasts because they go hand in hand. And anyone that says Bitcoin's bad for the environment is just an idiot. It's just an idiot. Just to finish up this rant, Bitcoin mining, especially in places like Texas, is fantastic. It actually saves a lot of the wasted energy. Because I don't know if a lot of you know this, but when they're producing energy, when you have a grid, not everyone's using the same amount of power all the time. So there's a lot of time where it's wasted or it has to be grounded because you have to make sure that the energy flow on the grid is consistent. You can't have surges. You can't have a ton of energy and, you don't want to backfeed if you're using a generator and backfeed to the grid because you can blow a transformer and stuff like that. There's all these different things that have to occur to make sure the load is consistent. So when there's less usable energy, Bitcoin miners actually turn on their miners and save and utilize the wasted energy rather than just being grounded. And when energy load increases, Bitcoin miners can turn off their machines and their rigs in order to keep the load consistent and maximize the use. Plus, renewable energy increases profit. So Bitcoin mining is actually incentivized by renewable energy, and a large portion of mining is actually renewable energy. So a lot of this fear mongering with nutrition, with Bitcoin mining, with this educate, a lot of it's just a scam. It's a scam and it's nonsensical and it's driven by some narrative with ulterior motives of just power and control and stupidity. When you're taught in schools throughout college, when you're taught all about this social justice shit, you're not taught anything that has any basis in facts. When you're not taught taxes, when you're not taught how to change a fucking tire, when you're worried about, oh, this book doesn't have two men fucking, you have grown children that don't know anything, that just want free money and think, oh, you can just give me more money and it'll work. Just tax rich people more. Yeah, just take all rich people's money. People that have money, just take all their money. Just get rid of, make sure no one's rich. Well, who do you think creates jobs? Who creates businesses? Most people don't create businesses. Most people don't create wealth and value. Business owners create value. Business owners create wealth. And when you make it harder for people to create businesses, to create wealth, to create jobs, you destroy the society, as we're seeing. This is why it was criminal during the lockdowns. They were shutting down small businesses, but allowing the major corporations to thrive and destroying mom and pop shops. You can't open your business, but Amazon or Target and these places can stay open. Big scam. It's right in front of everyone's eyes, but you're misdirected. They're just pointing you in different directions. They're putting Cardi B on the fucking cover of like, look at her. She showed part of her pussy lips in a dance. Oh my God. Just a degradation of our society. All right. Just ranting. I'm going to give myself an applause. because I can. Danielle, people shouldn't vote unless they pay taxes. Yeah. Look, I believe in people's right to vote, but I don't think everyone should vote. I think you should give back. You should be investing in society if you want the right to vote. I don't think voting is like a natural, like everyone should just get the chance to vote, because you have a lot of stupid people that don't fucking care, don't know, that vote. I think you should be doing some sort of like community service, you know, whether you serve in the military, whether you work in your local town. I think you should, like the concept of service for citizenship. It's like, yeah, you want the right to vote, you should give it, you should give up something. You should be investing. And, if you're investing in your local communities and you're investing in your country, you're going to care more. You're going to pay more attention. You're going to be more aware. You're going to know about the inner workings. You're going to know how community works. You're going to know what goes into, like, if you're working in your local community and you're building a park and you're laying down roads and stuff like that and greenery and stuff, and you're investing in your community as a path or as what's required by our society, one, you're not going to be littering and destroying it. You're going to understand the labor and what goes into these kinds of projects. You're going to understand the cost and the scope. And it's just a problem when the monetary system is completely corrupted. It's built on lies and deception. So you can't save for the future. You're constantly anxious. Your money is being devalued, whether it's printed, sent overseas, you're taxed more. Like the money that you're making today, people are always buying shit because it's not going to be worth more in the future. So we're in a society where you're not incentivized to save. You're incentivized to just buy the next thing and spend it now before it's worth less in a couple months. That's the problem with inflation. And inflation is not prices going up. Inflation is more money being printed into the system. The consumer price index is a byproduct of more money being printed into the system. More money, people buy more things, supply goes down, and there's more scarcity. So printing more money decreases. That's why you're seeing a lot of these shock waves and this whip effect that you're starting to see with things being missing now and not, like construction supplies and all these different things from 2020 and 2021. It just takes, a year or two for it to come around. Like we're seeing the effects of 2020 and 2021 now and into next year. So, Stone says we should only let people that are alive vote. Touche. Yeah. And also people are too concerned with what's going on in Washington rather than what's going on in their backyard. And this is why the school board and things like that, what that woman was complaining about in the video, that's what's raising your kids. That's what's educating your kids and then going to colleges. Like you need to know and this is why working and focusing on yourself as an individual, when you take care of your health, if you invest in your fitness, your health, and educating yourself and your family, and then your friends start asking you and they're inspired by you and you start with yourself, same thing with your local communities, then if you have a lot of local communities that are working on themselves as a local community, that's going to spread to other communities. That's going to spread to other places and other places. It's not going to start with the top down. So it has to be local. It has to start with like smaller cells. It's not going to start from the top down. So decentralization, things are more separating. People are more polarized. The left and the right are getting separate. States are getting more and more drastic. It's either the insane liberal cities or, moving out of those heavily dense populated areas. Like this is a case study. You're seeing all these cities crumbling, like literally falling apart. So we know those policies don't fucking work. How do we know? Look at them. They're a hot fucking mess. Crime is skyrocketing. They're disgusting. They're gross. So this is why those policies don't work. You think they work? They don't. You're looking at them not working. You're watching them not work. You're just watching them not work. But we should do this. No, we shouldn't. This is an example of it not working. You're watching it not working. You're watching it collapse. So let's not keep doing that. How about that? Let's not keep doing that. All right, last one. Believe it or not, we have another video.
What's in the box?
This is called Deranged Leftist on Nashville Shooting. Oh my God. All right. I'm curious. Deranged leftist kind of is an oxymoron. It's a little redundant there. A little redundant, but let's continue.
I wonder if the parents of the victims of the Nashville shooting today would still have their children if these trans bills in Tennessee were never a thing. I'm not a parent, but if I were, I'd be real mad at the government. I'd be real mad at the government.
What the fuck, bro?
Matt Damon.
Jesus Christ. So let me try to unpack that. That's sick. That's just gross. So would the shooting not have taken place if they didn't have these trans? I told Mama Swolio this yesterday. I said, here's what they're gonna do. They're gonna blame the government and society. So we know, like, a lot of these mass shooters are, they're non-binary or they're trans. Like, it's just mentally unstable people. So you're gonna start seeing this just being blamed, that if people were more accepting and they weren't, trying to exterminate trans people, like no one is, but if trans people weren't being oppressed, then this wouldn't have happened. Like, that's just a ridiculous, like, there's always going to be some kind of argument that they're going to try to twist and manipulate. So yeah, what's the craziest thing? After all of these, and it's a lot, but, in the context of how many people there are, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, of all the school shootings, when does the blame get placed on the actual school at this point for not having guards? Like, you would think that after fucking Columbine in the late 90s, I was in high school at that time, that was fucking heavy shit, that every school would be like, fuck this. And that would have been it. Is it not like the strangest thing? After that first one, just walked on in and just fucking shot everyone. And Sandy Hook and all this. Just the money for the school board, rather than worry about whether or not someone's gay in a library book, just put a guard out there. Just put guards at the doors. Now you need, of course, exits. You need, certain, but maybe a little more security. Does it matter that the person was trans? Does it matter? I don't think it matters. I don't think that's the point. I don't care what they identify as. If they're insane and they're going to shoot up kids, then that's all that matters. But it's a silly thing to say. Elizabeth, women taking testosterone have shown to be at a higher risk of violence and suicide. Well, that's the data from people that are trans in like their 20s and 30s, that the rate of suicide is insane. Very high. Let's see here. Yeah. Interesting comment. You're not wrong, Lester. Anyone who would abort an innocent baby doesn't really care about the death of anyone. It's so weird, right? And this is what Orwell was saying in 1984, that you can hold two competing thoughts in your head at the same time. It's doublethink, right? So you can claim one thing, but then be okay with the other at the same time. It's just, you can flip and pick whatever you want, and then, but that's what the left does. It's just whatever suits whichever way the wind is blowing, that's what is going to be the argument. Same thing with the fat acceptance. You see this theme, right? With everything. You see it all across. You see the common thread. It's, hey, this is the argument for this situation, so I'm going to use that. And we're all like, well, that doesn't make sense. That directly conflicts with this other piece of logic and common sense. No. But then, in a coherent reality, all these different things should matter. But if it doesn't work for that exact argument, then we can't have that. That doesn't exist. You're just fat phobic. You're just blah, blah, blah. You would just think that at these schools, there would be, if you have a school at this point, you don't need a social justice counselor. Use that money and hire some fucking security. Why is there not security? And then you have some people saying, I don't want my kids going to a prison. Would you feel better or worse if you went to a school? and the teachers were trained to carry, like, would there be issues? Would a teacher snap? And, if people were trained, if you had guards, when you say teachers, you need proper training. You need to know how to handle things, but there are a lot of ideas out there. I saw one where you have a bulletproof, like a safe room that just pulls out from the wall. It was a video. It's pretty fucking cool. It was a pretty cool idea. It's sad that we have to have it, but again, you can make the argument and people will say, well, we shouldn't have to have this. Like, oh, this is sick that we have to have this. Our kids shouldn't. Oh, it's so sad. Like, stop complaining about the way things like could be or should be. What is should? What is should? I mean, you could have said this back in World War II. Like, I wish the Nazis weren't throwing Jews in ovens. Of course, like, no one really knew all the depth of it, or most people didn't until the liberations and stuff like that at the end of the war. But I'm saying it's like, okay, we can't change history. We can't change we can try to change reality, but we have to adapt to it. It's like, what can we do to protect the kids more? How about if you're prepared and assume that that's going to happen and you have more checkpoints and more security, and these doors aren't made of like a fucking glass that you can just shoot through, or you have someone there that can see someone coming and sound an alarm so people can get to safety, or you can have a faster reaction time. It just doesn't make any sense. Why? Especially now. You have people trying to ban guns. Like, how many more of these situations? I guess a good question. How many more? Like, why are they happening still? Why aren't these schools actually taking some of the resources that are wasted elsewhere? It doesn't make any sense. I heard that too. Is that true? I'll read Trinity's post. I heard that too. I forget where I heard it, but I heard that too. Maybe we can confirm it in the chat. Heard that the shooter was going to hit another school, but didn't due to higher security. We need to protect our children, guards, or arm and train the teachers. I mean, you're better to have guards. I mean, how many ex-military, do you have that come back and, enter the police force? There are a lot of people that are well-trained patriots that can be, medically cleared and psychologically cleared to provide this type of security. I agree with Stone, just more and more reasons to homeschool. Fact. Let's see here. Let's see. Guy, we're so numb to this as a society. I don't know what it'll take for us to finally make the correct actions, such as better school defense and guards. Some people are saying mental health, but I think, honestly, the mental health is a new boogeyman that is going to be said. Like, mental health is so bad. I'm not saying it's not. And I'll tie up this rant soon. We'll give away today's Swole card, sick fucking gains. But what bothers me is when I hear that, it just sounds like the obesity thing. How long have people been saying obesity epidemic in this country? I've said this before in the podcast. There was the often or most commonly known as the father of sports medicine, Hans Kraus, was talking about the obesity epidemic in the United States, like in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. This is nothing new. The United States has been fatter than most countries for like almost 100 fucking years. So you've been talking about obesity for a long time. And I'm saying relatively, like much more obese, but especially now, like since the jacking up of corn and soy and vegetable oils and canola oils. So the obesity epidemic, people are fatter than fucking ever. And what are we actually doing? We're promoting fat acceptance and body positivity and all this bullshit. So you can say mental health crisis all you want. It's just a boogeyman because you can say mental health crisis, stop the mental health crisis. We need to save it. It's virtue signaling. You're saying it, but that doesn't do anything. You're just talking about it, and it's going to numb everyone to it, and nothing's going to get done. It just doesn't. That's why I don't like it. I'm not saying there isn't one, but that's not how you solve a mental health crisis, by just talking about it. Because then people think they're actually doing something by talking about it, and then they're going to print some fucking bill in Congress that's going to be like, we're donating, we're taking hundreds of millions of dollars and X amount of whatever for mental health centers, and then it's going to get squandered and sent to states and just get, nothing's going to happen. So this is why it has to be nutrition and exercise and all these different types of things. So that's going to improve mental health dramatically. the pharmaceutical companies, the drugs, like fundamental human activities, exercise, and better food choices. So where does that really start? It can't start with the government. It's not going to start from the state. It's not going to start. It has to start with you. It has to start with us. And that's the thing. That's the reality of it. You can hear mental health, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we have those problems. That's why you need to eat healthy. That's why you need to follow the 7 pillars. Why you need to get quality sleep and train hard. That's why you need to learn how to carry a firearm legally and practice with it. That's why you need to protect yourself. This is why Bitcoin, you can hold your own fucking money and be the custodian of your own fucking money and have complete control over it that no one can take away. Like, it's personal responsibility from the bottom all the way up. It's with the food, it's with the training, it's with your families, with your education, it's with your money, it's with your protection, your safety and security. It's not happening elsewhere. You can want all you want for the government daddy to take care of you. You can want it all you want. It's not going to happen. I want the government to tell me what to eat properly. Then you're going to have a lot of health problems. Okay. If you're waiting for someone else to take care of you, no one's coming, right? No one's coming. We have an alarm system. How many of you have an alarm system? How many of you have an alarm system on your car? If someone smashes the window and they're going to take something in the front seat, your car's going to go, boo, woo, woo. No one looks at a car alarm. No one listens to a car alarm. You hear a car alarm going out, no one runs over, hey, there's an alarm going off. Your shit's gone. It might let you know, hey, someone stole your shit. It's not going to give you any information. We have an alarm system. So the alarm's going to go off. And after a while, after the alarm goes off, then they're going to get notified and the cop's going to come. By the time the cops come, like, this person's going to get a lead sandwich. That's too late. Just because you have an alarm system in your house, that doesn't protect you unless you have a Tesla coil, like fucking Red Alert Aftermath. Someone comes into bzzz, they just get fucking roasted. See, no one, like, you have to be able to protect yourself. We have the dogs, and they're going to bark and let us know. So in other words, you need to take responsibility for all those things. And it can be intimidating because you've never had to take responsibility before, because you've always been told what to do by your job, by your school, by the university. You've always been told what to do, and you follow and follow and follow. And it's mind-blowing. Oh my God, I can think for myself. Oh my God, there are other choices. There are other things I can do. But I think that kind of realization and decentralization is happening more and more in all areas. When it comes to news, people are getting their news from other more reputable sources and individual journalists and people on the ground on Twitter. And like, you can actually get information in real time. You don't need to wait for the 6 o'clock news to brainwash you. You can actually get information. You can learn about whatever you want just by picking up your phone and typing it in. You can learn skills. You can learn how to be adaptable. People complain about AI and Chat GPT and shit like that. So learn some fucking skills that'll help you adapt for the future, or don't. Adapt or die. It's personal responsibility. And it starts with all these different things. So it might be a little bit unfortunate, depending. You're like, oh man, I wish things were better. It shouldn't have to be that way. Oh my God, kids shouldn't have to be at a school with guards. It shouldn't have to. Well, it is. You have guards at sports games. You have security for athletes who play fucking games that people go and watch. You have security for celebrities. It's okay. So now you need security you don't want security for kids? Okay. 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 That's weird. If you have things happening at schools, if there are shootings at schools, then guess what you should do at schools? Increase security. Thank you. Thank you. No, I appreciate it. Settle down. I know. That was too much common sense. When there's multiple or there's several, you might be, but it'll never happen here. It'll never happen here. Come on, really? Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? I'm not saying people are asking for it, but are you shocked? If you don't have security and someone shows up, what do you think is going to happen? Someone comes in with a gun and there's no security there. What do you think is going to happen? My God, it was like 15 minutes, right? The shooter had like 14 or 15 minutes. In my opinion, How the fuck did only 6 people get shot? Or more people got shot, or 6 people died? It's horrible. But is it not like a miracle that it was only 6? Has anyone set a timer for 15 fucking minutes? When you just have kids and people in there and you have rifles like that, not that efficient, which is good. And I'm not saying this person was, obviously you're mentally fucking gone, but you're lucky it wasn't 40 or 50 or what the fuck. So, it's like that. The alarm goes off. 15 minutes, they get there. It was like 14 minutes. Like the person was in the school for 14 minutes, and it was a much faster response time than Uvalde. Like that just happened like last year, and everyone's freaking out. They didn't respond fast enough. Well, none of these other schools did anything. Like, what's your excuse after that just happened last year, and then you have this happening? Come on. It's like people that live in a tornado or a hurricane area or on a cliff and their house gets washed away. Those people that have their houses in the ocean or on stilts and their house gets knocked down every couple of years. They keep on rebuilding it. You might want to move. Yeah, it's just like, if you protect the most valuable resource we have in our world are the children. They're the ones that are going to be creating value and evolving and creating technologies and learning and developing in the future. 15 minutes is a long fucking time. It's a long fucking time, especially when no one else is armed. And it's gross. It's gross. But that's a long fucking time. It's a long time. And the more details you learn, the more nauseating it gets. It's just, why wasn't there something set up? When we have these shootings so frequently, quote unquote, once is too frequent, but we've had like over the course of decades, like there are frequenter. Kids bring guns to school. Yo, hello. You might want to set up some guardrails or some boundaries to mitigate that. Now, it doesn't mean that everything's going to be stopped, but my goodness, it would be a lot better than just walking in. We don't have bears and tigers and shit just running around because they're going to eat people and maul people. Maybe we should protect from humans, which are animals, that are mauling people and killing people. Yeah. Better to prepare, right? Anyone that carries and prepares for security, you don't want to use it. I look forward to never firing my weapons unless at a range, or recreationally and appropriately. I don't want to use it, but you have it in case you need it. So you have guards there in case you need them. Hopefully you don't. Not complicated. That's the best case scenario. You pay for these people to be there and nothing happens. Good. That's the point. Seriously, if you go to that school, right, that person walks there and then sees a guard and they go the other side, they see guards, or they observe and they see guards and security, probably going to turn around and go somewhere else. Now, if that place is also, it's discouraging. It doesn't mean that person won't go and do something in some other way, but you're stopping. Stop it at the source. It just doesn't make sense that this should still be a vulnerability. Does not make sense. Yeah, and that's one more thing. We'll close with this. From Guy, and Guy says it needs to be better. Everyone in that school is forever changed. Everyone in those situations are scarred for life. It's atrocious. And that's what doesn't really get talked about enough. You have a lot of children, other children that are crying and that saw their friends or other people or teachers or the janitor, like horrible stuff, get shot, or they hear the guns and they're petrified. It's like everyone in that school. It's not the 6 people only. It's the families. It's the relatives, it's the friends, it's the community around it, all the people that live near the school, that know someone that lost someone, that knows someone without a kid at the school, and all the conversations and all those kids that are just, how are those children going to feel safe? They're that's such a formidable age to be scarred like that. So this is like a generational thing. Like this kind of thing is going to need to get worked out. How many of these kids are actually going to get quality therapy and actually be successful? Like, anyway, long rant, but I think that stuff is important. Good topics and a lot of good comments down below. Fam, let's get a little tainty, man. Aww. All right, let's get some round of applause. There's the tainty man. There he is. But good conversation, fam. I hope no one here has to deal with that kind of stuff. But we're always talking about personal responsibility. And I know that gets blown. I don't think it gets blown out of proportion, but I think it gets used as a derogatory by the left. Like, oh, well, the people on the right or conservatives always say, personal responsibility. I'm just a person saying. It has no political or social connotation. Personal responsibility is important. It's your responsibility to exercise. It's your responsibility to wipe your ass front to back. It's your responsibility to eat good. It's just in your control. So if you don't want to take personal responsibility, then don't complain. Take it, own it, and then there's nothing to complain about. It's either your fault it's your fault if it goes well, and it's your fault if it goes bad. No one's going to do it for you, right? No one's going to take care of your health for you. No one's going to exercise for you. No one's going to eat well for you. No one's going to meditate for you. No one can. These are things that are in your control. You can't control what happens in Nashville. You can't, unless you live in that. You can't control what other people do. But what you can do is control, what you do and what precautions you take, and so on and so forth. James, in Toronto, the Liberals look at these incidents and say it's because we have gun control, but overlook that in the last week we had 2 stabbings on the subway. Yes, that too. And if you want to know what gun control looks like, look at Chicago, look at LA, look at San Francisco, look at New York. I mean, where the crime is the worst is where they have the strictest gun control laws. So again, these are like case studies. You want to know what gun control actually looks like? Look where there's fucking gun control. And it's a goddamn fucking disaster. Look at those cities that don't allow you to have firearms. There's no crime in New York City. Good thing Chicago, they call it Chirac for a reason. It's a fucking war zone. But they have some of the strictest gun control laws. So you are seeing what it looks like. You are seeing what it looks like. So what the fuck are we talking about? Stop being retarded. That's the example. You want gun control? But my gun control. Well, I don't want to live in Chicago. I don't want to live in New York. I don't want to live in San Francisco. I don't want to live in these fucking shitholes. Grizzly, I'm from Chicago. I could say it's bad. There's a shooting daily. There's probably a shooting going on as we speak. Yeah, there probably is. And that's fucked up. Yeah, knives are really scary. Wasn't that there's a lot of videos on it, but wasn't that a Mythbusters that you can close the distance? If you're 20 or 25 feet away, you think you can pull out a gun and fire. When you have a knife, you can close the distance so much faster. And even if you get shot, you're still going to come and keep on stabbing. If someone has a knife, you're getting stabbed. So you can close the distance so fast, and people think that, you get shot and the person just falls down. It's not a movie. Even if you hit someone, it's going to go through. You're still alive. You're still going through. You're not just going to, unless you get a straight up headshot, which is the worst place to aim just because the target's so small. You shoot center mass. You shoot center mass, you're still going to get, fucked up. Someone 20, 30 feet away charging you, that's not that far. If you play baseball, that's 60 feet, 30 feet is half the distance. It's not a big distance. Sprinting at you with a knife, you have to pull it out, have the peace of mind, and aim properly. And it's if you've ever shot a gun, it's not as easy as it seems. It's not a movie. It's hard to hit a target. People think that you're didn't Joe Biden say you shoot him in the leg? Fucking idiot. An idiot. Shoot someone in the leg. Most people can't hit someone in the fucking chest from 15 feet, let alone the leg. Hitting a moving target or shooting while you're moving is so fucking hard. It's so fucking hard. It's unbelievable how hard it is to hit a moving target or while you're moving. It's harder, in my opinion, to shoot something stable while you're moving, just because you have to be your breath and your pacing and your steps. It's hard. It's hard. Okay. What a fucking rant. What a man cast. All right, sick fucking gains. Awesome. Thanks for being here. Went way long today, but it's all good. Let's give it away. Fantastic. Sick fucking gains. Scrolling. 0, 0. I'm still scrolling. I'm going to find someone. Landing on it. We have Guy. Congratulations. On a roll. All right. Super duper. Well deserved. Send us an email to support@swolenormous.com. Swole card 2518. The subject, your mailing address. In the body of the email. Make some sick fucking gains with your sick fucking Swole card. Excellent. Excelente. And a reminder, tomorrow's episode, Rise and Swole with Papa and the Fam. Live call. Tomorrow's episode is private for members only. Join swolenormousx.com tomorrow at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. Eastern Time. The time might fluctuate, but we're going to start tomorrow's at 9 a.m. So last week was a roundtable. This week is Rise and Swole. Join us inside the Swole fam, swolenormousx.com. Thanks for being here. Great episode. Time to make those gains. Yow. Making gains, taking names. Go on with your bad self. Make some gains today, fam. Get large. Get small.
You switched the samples.
Hope you enjoyed how deep we went today. I thought it was fun. Good topics. Real talk, fam. Real talk. Take responsibility of your health, of your security. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Chicks will dig you, or dudes, or whatever gender thing you're into.
You can be fat and be healthy. I'm sorry, Lizzo, healthier than I will ever be.
It is not my place as a smaller-bodied white man to comment on it.
Are you crying? Are you crying? There's no crying in baseball!
You need to stop being a lady. Quit worrying. You'll be back on your knees in no time.
No medication except my fucking antidepressants.
Come on, man.
Sam! Sam! Sam!
Coast to coast. No hands, as always. Thank you, fam. Oh, nailed it. Let me crank up this hog. Fam, tomorrow, Rise and Swole, Thursday, tomorrow the 30th, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. We'll see you there. We'll hear you there. Live call. We'll have some people come up on stage. We'll talk shop, private member Q&A, and we'll get the day started in the best possible way. We'll be back here on the public stream Friday morning for FEF and Overtime. So remember, we have Overtime on Friday. We got a brand new Drive Milk Gaining. It's going to be awesome. So wake up with us tomorrow. Get some sun on your nips. Get up and start pulling some sled. Start doing some yoga. Come chill with the fam tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. And we'll see you there. Peace, McGeese. Deuce, Magoose. Your boy, Papa Swolio. Out.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808s, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock's crashing. Like an IPO trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now they king left and they so mad, it's like
then yeah, I found that young king with my crown at 10 racks in the fanny pack, couple hundred in the Louis bag.
That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you laid. That's a bed that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint you. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? Yeah, whoa, my shit is relevant. On topic, my melanin is popping. I'm taking skeletons on closets and making new deposits. I'm in my element, no ollies.